Raina Hinay, 12, teaches people how to farm on the Philippine island of Mindanao. Hinay is a co-founder of Kids Who Farm, a non-governmental organization or NGO located in Zamboanga that educates communities and schools on how to build their own microfarms. What tactics does she employ to teach farming? And in this day and age, how does TikTok impact farming education? Is it simple to study with today's technology? Let's find out. To begin, let's look at an overview of the subject. Hinay founded Kids Who Farm in 2019 at 9, inspired by her desire to save her school's neglected fruit garden. The garden is now flourishing, she says to Mongabay. Since then, Hinay and her father have been leading workshops on the fundamentals of sustainable farming for children as young as herself and adults to help them start their own businesses. Hinay's first workshop, when she was 9 years old, was with a group of university students who were more than twice her age. After that, we started teaching more communities and schools, almost anyone, how to build their own garden. Hinay says, with the help of 180 youth volunteers, Kids Who Farm has established 38 community food gardens and school microfarms in 25 barangays, or wards, throughout Zamboanga City and 2 barangays in the northern Mindanao city of Cagayan de Oro. The NGO has trained up to 3,000 young people in sustainable farming. Hinay hopes to address the Philippines' twin challenges of aging farmers and the need for more sustainable and climate-resilient agriculture. Moving on, a looming farmer shortage. Members of Congress introduced legislation in August to add an agricultural curriculum to the high school curriculum. Farming is currently only available as a school subject for vocational school students, those who intend to enter the workforce immediately after graduation. The bill emphasizes the importance of ensuring food security by providing a consistent supply of individuals to manage and develop the country's agricultural industry. Florencia Palis, a retired University of the Philippines anthropology professor, discovered in a 2020 study that the average age of a Filipino farmer is 53. Former Agriculture Secretary William Dar warned last year, citing the study, that the country could face a critical shortage of farmers within the next 12 years. Even though the study looked at data from 2009 to 2012, Palis said an upcoming paper she's working on with data from 2017 to 2018 would have similar findings on the average age of farmers. Palis's research also found that farmers are likely to discourage their children from working in agriculture due to financial and physical costs. Who will replace them as they get older? Who is going to grow rice to feed the Filipinos? Palis states. They don't want their children to do that anymore. Following that, battling misconceptions. Emmy Estialbo, 26, is one of the young adults who has benefited from Kids Who Farm education. She has also been in charge of her family's hydroponic farming business since September of 2021, which includes producing plants with water and nutrients rather than dirt. She is a volunteer school teacher from the province of Capiz in the Central Visayas region. Before receiving hydroponics tutoring from Kids Who Farm, Estialbo learned the basics of gardening from her parents. Her parents used to take her out to the field as a child to assist them in tending the vegetables and crops. Estialbo claims that her father encouraged her to pursue a career other than farming to diversify her income sources. I accept my father's advice not to commit to farming because they were raised as farmers and are aware of how difficult the job is and how little they make, she continues. However, Estialbo maintains that they have gained stability since expanding their family company of vegetable cultivation to include hydroponic products. This is especially true when the weather is bad. I thought about employing hydroponics because our location is prone to flash floods, Estialbo explains. Because of our location near a river, our vegetable area is flooded whenever it floods, and we have to start over. I decided to look into hydroponics because of the possibility of loss. Next up, more specifics on the battling misconceptions. The Estialbo family's hydroponic crops consists of lettuce, eggplants, and tomatoes. These crops bring in an additional 13,000 pesos or $220 for the family per harvest and the monthly income from the traditional vegetable farming company. However, there is always the challenge of figuring out how to maintain young people's interest in the agricultural industry, even when there is a success story like Estialbo. Estialbo is a teacher at the secondary level, and she asserts that many students still believe farming to be a physically demanding occupation. Hinay's long-term goal is to work as a programmer who designs and develops online games. On the other hand, she is resolved to carry on with her seminars until there is no longer a problem of food insecurity in the country. I will continue it until it becomes irrelevant since the concerns we are raising awareness about have been lessened or eradicated. I will continue it until it becomes useless, she says. Moving on, the new age of farming. Bea Suavenco, a 21-year-old TikTok user, is one of these young farmers. She uses the widespread acceptance of technology and social media as teaching tools. Suavenco has over 88,000 followers on this site, with 80% coming from the Philippines. Her films on hydroponic farming have tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of views. She claims that while at agricultural school, she used TikTok to persuade young people that farming is more than poor man's work. I wanted to create a news story in order to encourage more young people to pursue a profession in agriculture, she says. Suavenco worked as a young girl on her family's farm in Mindanao. This was when her interest in farming began. She had to educate herself about farming independently because neither of her parents came from a farming family. She eventually became a plant specialist from a startup company in the United States where she wrote hydroponics instructions. Suavenco asserts that she is committed to a long career as an agricultural entrepreneur. She plans to run a social enterprise incorporating an urban community garden and a technological firm making farming films. I wish there were more people who would mentor young people or teach them about agriculture's immense potential, she says. I wish there were more people who would educate kids about the incredible prospects available in agriculture. Following that, farming for the future. The three young farmers agree that more individuals their age should get involved in climate-smart agriculture and raise awareness about food security. Will younger generations' excitement for farming, on the other hand, have a significant impact? According to the conclusions of a study submitted to Mongabay and scheduled for publication in November by the Philippine Rice Research Institute, or PhilRice, younger generations play an important role in agricultural sector expansion. This study aims to look into how technology-savvy students can effectively serve as intermediaries for rice farmers involved in climate-smart agriculture. Between 2012 and 2019, PhilRice worked with secondary schools to provide agricultural education to rice farmers in their homes using text messaging, the internet, and printed materials. We reviewed general climate change information, its effects, and adaptation and mitigation measures in these lessons. When I think of the campaign, I think of a community that is having trouble gaining access to some of the most crucial information on rice production and farming-based systems, says Jamie Manalo, the study's author, the head of PhilRice's Socioeconomics Division. He further shared, children, in my opinion, serve as a connecting link between these many communities and the information that they require. Finally, climate-smart technology. Farmers were persuaded to use climate-smart technologies as a result of the campaign. Manalo outlines success stories in his 2017 book, Communicating Climate Change in the Rice Sector, and a 2017 paper, Climate Smart Agriculture, Do Young People Care? These include children convincing their farmer parents to reduce pesticide use and build an observation well out of durable bamboo. Manalo points out that not all of these interventions were high-tech, emphasizing that youth with or without formal education or access to technology can be effective intermediaries. Initiatives like the Intermediary Campaign blend Hinay's and Suavenco's approaches, but how these can be replicated on a larger scale remains to be seen. Palis and Manalo support the proposal to add an agricultural curriculum to the high school curriculum, adding an A to the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics package to produce STEAM. Manalo believes the lessons must be carefully planned, making them immersive and entertaining to maintain students' interest while also engaging parents to secure their support. Finally, both Manalo and Palis believe that allowing students to study agriculture will encourage them to consider it a career path and help dispel myths about farming. You instill in the students the importance of growing food and developing sustainable agricultural practices, Manalo says. Agriculture is also a polluter, so in order to properly address these issues, we must be aware of the complexities of agricultural production practices. Well, that marks the end of our video for today. We hope you enjoyed it. On your way out, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.